I'm a developmental biologist. I know nothing about physics.
Today we're going to talk about Oprah's third law. Today we're going to talk about Oprah's favorite law of motion.
But in physical science, it's called Newton's third law of motion. Remember that from physics class?
Also known as the action-reaction law, it states that for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Newton's third law is probably the hardest one to comprehend, and that's because when we think of forces, we usually think of one object applying the force. But forces come in pairs. For every force, there's an equal but opposite force. Tug of war is a really good example. The winning team isn't always a team with the one with the largest or the strongest members, but that's because the force exerted by each team pulling on the rope is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. The winning team usually is the one that has the best traction off the ground. They counteract the force of the rope by applying an equal but opposite frictional force off the ground. That's how skateboarding works. When you push off the ground pushes back with an equal but opposite force. Now, if both objects push off each other and they're both equal in mass, then they'll move an equal amount of distances. But if they're different in mass, then you know from Newton's second law, the smaller object is going to move a much longer distance than the smaller distance. Oh boy! Those forces will be expressed differently. The smaller object will move a greater distance than the heavier object. To really drive this point home, let's look at one more example. If we look at this man's fighting style, you may think that the only force here is the one coming from his opponent's fist. But in reality, his face is also applying an equal but opposite force to his fist. Action-reaction can be seen everywhere, like when you push off a skateboard, when you walk, when you run. Walking and running looks the same. When you shoot a gun and you feel the recoil. When you shoot a cannon and you feel the recoil. Please don't shoot cannons. Or when you launch rockets into space. Rockets can leave the ground because the rocket's engine produces these hot gases that are forced out of the back of the engine. That's the action. The reaction pushes the rocket into space. The rocket won't leave the pad until the force of the rocket engines is enough to overcome the force of gravity. If you'd like to put it to the test, you can build your own rocket at home. All you need is some Diet Coke and Mentos. Let's go try it out. What are we doing here today, babe?
We're gonna blow shit up.
What's the third law of no emotion?
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Hell yeah, there you go. Awesome. Kids, don't try this at home. Try it outside.
So here's my game plan. I'm going to drop it, you go up, that's all there is to it.
Nice! Got him! So what do you think would happen if I eat Mentos?
Wait, what?